Hey, what are y'all doing? Me and Max are walking around the ranch. We're doing our morning prayer walk, but we just kind of finished up. So, did you know that neuroscience has proven that humans operate on autopilot 95% of the time? That's profound, right? I call them unconscious creators because they're not filtering their thoughts as they should, but you know better, right? Because you're the conscious creator. We go through our mind with a fine-tooth comb at all times because we want to know what kind of thoughts are going through our mind, what assumptions, and more importantly, what identity or state of being that we are in to ensure that we're manifesting efficiently and correctly, right? Because we have to go into the subconscious mind. But first, I want to talk about a very important biblical scripture. As you know, the Bible is a book on mind science. It should be read psychologically, not literally, because it's not a book on secular history. It is a book on addressing the human mind or the human psyche. And once you start reading the Bible in that way, boom, you'll be mind blown. Okay, so it is a book on mind science. It's not a religious book. It's not a book on religion, because the one thing that connects us all of us have a mind that we have to learn to control. But that's where I want to go into teaching you today. And it is the two aspects of the one mind. Now, literally, this is going to mind blow you once you understand this, because if you can organize your thoughts in which bucket it's going into, or which bucket maybe it's coming from, then you can start course correcting even better. Okay, so there are a couple biblical scriptures. Let's see, Genesis 2:24, Mark 10:8, and Ephesians 5:31, I believe. So they all talk about the two shall become one. That's not anything to do with physical marriage here on the physical plane. It has everything to do with the mind, the feminine and masculine side of the mind, or the left brain and the right brain, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And when you learn to synchronize both hemispheres, both your right brain and your left brain hemisphere, then you become a super Saiyan, right? You become God, Christ consciousness. You reach a super level, you reach the super conscious. Okay, so the two shall become one simply means when you synchronize both sides of your brain, then you have mastered your mind. So when you read self-help books or you follow and listen to mindset coaches, they're not really explaining what kinds of thoughts or which side the thoughts or the bucket they are in. And this is where I come in, because I want to kind of coach you through the different types of thoughts, not positive and negative. That's not what I'm referring to. Because when you're using your left brain hemisphere, this is your conscious mind. The conscious mind sees through the current lens of your 5 physical senses. It perceives through the 5 physical senses, and that can get really misleading. Did you know that the Latin and French origin of sinistra or sinister is left? Left? The origin of sinister or sin or sinners is left. Has nothing to do with dexterity, like they used to teach thousands of years ago, thinking that left-handed people were evil. No, it's the left side of your brain. The left brain is your conscious mind, the left brain hemisphere, your 5 physical senses, everything that you are perceiving here in the objective world. This is all left. This is Satan. This is the proverbial Beelzebub, because it misleads you. Your 5 physical senses mislead you, but when you know the truth, which is your right brain hemisphere, when you dip into your alpha brainwave frequency state, that is important because that's the gateway into the subconscious mind, and you have put your left brain into abeyance, you have shut off your 5 physical senses, then you know that the truth resides here, because your imagination is God. There is no other God. And people don't realize how important and powerful the human imagination is, because the subconscious mind speaks in a very specific language of images, and it's reinforced by your emotions. So my point is this: when you are creating mental images, mental thought images, a mental thought movie, you are using your imagination or the right brain hemisphere. This is truth. This is the truth. And you know through the law of cause and effect that anything that happens in the subjective faculty first, because that's first order, then you will see it objectify in your objective world or your physical reality. So subjective mind first, conscious mind second, what you perceive here in the objective world. So when thoughts are going through your mind, you need to know, well, am I super relaxed right now? Because if I'm super relaxed, I bet those are imaginal movies, imaginal images that I'm creating. I'm having an internal conversation over here. That's what you really need to be filtering and going through with a fine-tooth comb. Not saying that your thoughts that go through the left brain aren't important. They are, because what you are perceiving with your 5 physical senses, what you are seeing, what you're hearing, what you're reading, what you're tasting, could be misleading you. So if it's misleading you, that is false. You need to go back into the subconscious mind and revise the mental scene or the movie over here into what you prefer to hear, what you prefer to see, and see it already done over here. Then you will course correct it here in your physical world. That's powerful stuff, right? A lot of people don't know that. There are 2 kinds of thoughts. What kind of thoughts are going through your mind? Because here in the objective world is where you get clarity, fierce clarity about what you want and what you don't want, what you prefer and what you don't prefer. And if it's something that you don't prefer and it's showing up in your physical reality, then all you've got to do is go, oh, I must have had some old thought programming. That's why it's showing up, because I must be in agreement with it. Because if I'm in agreement with it, then it'll show up in my physical reality. Remember, that's important. What you are in agreement with, you'll see evidence of in your physical reality. So if you're seeing something unwanted, then course correct it over here in the subconscious mind first. Then you won't see it repeat in your physical world. But yeah, the objective world is really where you get clarity. What you prefer, what you don't prefer. And then you go into the subconscious mind and you can course correct it there or continue to emphasize it. Because as you know, if you permeate, penetrate, and saturate the subconscious mind, the right brain hemisphere, through the laws of mentalism, you will see it objectify into fact in your physical reality. God, that's just mind-blowing to me. And when you understand the 2 hemispheres of your brain, the 2 shall become one, and you will reach Christ consciousness. As I tell my 26-year-old son, you'll become a Super Saiyan. Like, your mind is like, boom, expansive. Because most of you are currently living in a state of contraction because you're relying too much on your 5 physical senses. And again, sinister means left. Sinister means to deceive. It's a liar, right? So what you are currently seeing, especially if it's unwanted in your physical world, your objective world, it's just deceiving you. Go back to the truth. Course correct it over here in your subconscious mind. Our Christian and theologian friends would call that the devil versus God. There is no external force. There is no external evil devil that's out there doing anything to you. And the same, there is no external God that is judging you and doing things and rewarding you. It's you. It's always been you. It's your mind. The Bible is a book on mind science, and it is written symbolically. And once you start seeing the mystery behind the words, you will clearly see that it is talking about the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind. And when the 2 are synchronized, the 2 shall become one, and you'll reach Christ consciousness. You'll release a cerebral spinal fluid called Christos, which stands for Christ. you will reach Christ consciousness. God, I love it. I love it. It's so powerful when you look at the mind in this way. Okay, I love you. Bye.